Hey, have you ever seen someone doing something disgusting that made you turn off from that person? Then you've probably heard about different icks people get sometimes. And it's normal not to like someone who, for example, likes to eat their boogers. It could be a bit disappointing why they're not sharing. My granddad always said, sharing is caring. But recently in TikTok it became a popular and controversial topic called New Ick Unlocked. There are some people who say that it is unattractive to do some stuff for men. And it's so ridiculous that it could be even the way they stand. I really wasn't joking. Yeah, standing on two legs makes you much cooler, feeling the power of Earth. Then you can even go on all fours to feel more comfortable. The next time you can't reach something, instead of standing on one leg or on your tiptoes, bring with yourself a small ladder. That will give you some extra points in your eyes. That's not the only ick girls get that is connected with men's movements. I've spent a good 3 minutes trying to figure out what's wrong with this man. I felt how my brain started to hurt from the effort, but I lost this game and looked at the description. And guess what? My new ick is my friend walking downhill. I'll be walking myself back to my car next time. Guys, why don't you fly from a hill or just wait for us down there? Or if you feel very masculine, bulldoze all mountains and hills, so we could see only miles of endless prairie. I mean, I feel walking downhill stupid too, when your knees start to work like grasshoppers. But I am a girl, so I'm allowed to walk, at least for now. And of course, it's not the only way that men are restricted to walk. You thought that pain from hot as lava pedal beaches would give you some indulgence? Of course no. We don't care if your skin melted into rocks, keep walking like nothing happened. Or buy a small tractor to make yourself a small trail. I think everyone agrees that tractors are sexy, at least I've never seen any icks about it. I would really recommend saving your legs, even if you haven't learned to move without giving instant icks. Because broken leg is so unattractive, especially when you try to cure it. Total dislike. I'm actually not sure what specifically is an ick, but I assume everything. So here's an instruction on how to prevent yourself from all of these. Lay still on some surface. Just please never move your legs. Man really needs to hold his dogs. Good thing he's my personal assistant. Bless the poor girl who's gonna end up with him. She really felt like offending him would be much better than people would think that they are a couple. Poor girl, she will get a man with moving toes. Which in my opinion is very impressive, because not everyone can boast so much elasticity in their toes. But if you felt like you're smart, progressive, and you can break this ick's logic, so you decided to choose transport instead of walking to avoid all of those icks. You can't be thinking that would be so easy. From the comments I learned that the problem of this man riding a bicycle is that he does it with too much happiness. So please, ride a bicycle only when you're depressed if you don't like to be bullied. Why am I not married at 40? Because she couldn't find a person who rides bicycle the right way. Very understandable. And of course, forget about riding on a bike too, or at least do it topless as a real man, or learn already how to control water, earth and wind. Firstly, you'll have a bonus ability to control your fart's direction. Use it as you want on these girls. And it would be very helpful for you in situations like this one. This ick may win the prize of most unexpected ones. I can imagine a dialogue of this girl and her friends. Why did you break up with him? He's such an amazing guy. You don't understand. His ears, they were shaking on the wind. Hit him already 2 times with a stapler and forget about it. It's workable. I've seen worse.
What is your biggest ick?
Boys falling over. Boys having a bath.
When boys take a bath. Honey, please, we fight it for men to take showers for ages. Mostly because humanity couldn't invent water pipes, but still, don't do that to us. You don't want your new ick to be when he doesn't shower for 3 weeks. Cause if someone said to me, it's awful when I'm clean, I would take that opportunity. Let's stop pretending that Shrek's lifestyle doesn't attract us. It's okay. If you still decided to wash your body, don't get in shower too fast. Cause we have a surprise ick for you.
What is your biggest ick in a guy?
The thought of them having a shower and waiting for the water to get hot and just standing there naked.
I really can't think of a person who would shower in this cold water before the normal one. Well, I heard that cold and hot showers are good for health. Or take shower in clothes. She said that it's awkward that guy is waiting for water naked. So greet warm water in the finest suit. At first moment, you might think that this girl have a heart and they try to think of what they're saying. But a desire to make all men utopically ideal always wins.
What's your biggest ick in a guy?
Like when they. No, okay.
Say it. Say it.
No.
Run it.
That was so mean. I was gonna say if they're like really nice.
I'm personally not against nice people, so you could like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it as a small creator. So yeah, apparently bad boys are still in fashion and love and admiration are overrated. I can imagine her near a nice guy like, can you please kiss another girl? Or maybe steal my phone? No? Well, maybe then curse at least. By the way, do your ears wiggle in the wind? I think we need to break up. Also, a good reason to break up with someone is what they eat. And you will be surprised to know that it's pizza.
There is nothing more icky than a man walking out of Pizza Hut with a cheese pizza in his hand. Like, he's so excited to go home and eat his cheese pizza. Why don't you order like a meat lover's pizza or at least a pepperoni pizza like a man?
You can't run a car on a water and a man on a plant-based meal. I think restaurants should provide us with anti-ick menu for men, where they could serve them a piece of meat with smaller meats on top. Is that masculine enough? And of course, all of that should be served in a giant wooden bowl, because the way you eat also matters.
He's a 10 out of 10, but when you go for drinks with him and there's a straw in his drink, he uses the straw. Those are for us. Put that away. Those are for us. Not for you. Don't care what you say.
If you have a straw in your drink, straightly ignore it, even when it starts to poke your eye. But if you really like your straws and you are not ready to give up on that, pick yourself a water pipe. It has the same functions, but much more attractive. And also you may need it as a drain pipe because guys can't use umbrellas. I agree on this one, I don't own an umbrella myself. If it rains, just take it. I've talked about it before, but I really love how people ignore all of the years of human development, of making life easier, better and more comfortable, for just being cool and fitting in some roles that you've made up for yourself. I understand that at first 5 minutes you feel like this sad main character. You can even start singing and dancing in the rain to feel the moment. But after some time you will feel all of the things that movies never talk about, such as all of your clothes rubbing your skin, questionable hairstyle and scaring away strangers with your look. Still better than looking like a stupid mushroom with this umbrella, duh. I found the place where girls usually get the most icks. It's water, especially swimming pools. You can't deny his ballet skills. But yes, write down that trying not to drown is an ick. And unfortunately, if you want to learn to swim properly, it could give someone an ick too. So if you're trying something new, make sure that there is no one around. Unless you will appear on TikTok. I thought that falling videos are classic thing that makes you smile, not an ick. But I would say the last one felt like a pro. Instead of exploring new things and enjoying your trip, learn how to stand still. Worse, my ex doing this, then us going on together, and me having to paddle while he sat down because he couldn't balance. Wow, what an awful situation. Now we get why you broke up with him. Next time before dating, ask a guy to balance on a string. Olympic skills of balancing are what every guy needs. I don't understand why this one is an ick when we can clearly see that this man does a great job for others. He's beating poop out of water for all his guys' friends and the icks it has created. You really need to appreciate him and stop touching the water. So you tell us that greasy hands are better than if man touches a water? Or you expect him to pee on his hands to wash them? I just don't understand. The lemon, I can't. I feel like everyone sees a different reason to have an ick on this video. So I start to think that it could be literally anything. But lemon is definitely too much, no tips for waiters. Another ick that I don't get, and this time we have no description. This time I'm not alone and no one understands precisely what an ick is. But the answer is usually quite obvious. Someone explains. The person forgot to flip the camera. No sunscreen too, because red peeling skin is what every girl craves for. Red skin reminds us of Mr. Krabs, who's definitely one of the most attractive creatures in the world. Look, he swims like a pro, rich, has no ears to wiggle, his legs movement is very satisfying, extra point for walking sound. And he eats burgers with meat. Mr. Krabs 1, your boyfriend 0.
What's your biggest ick?
Oh my gosh. When people walk and their feet go outwards when they walk, feet also ick me out.
Why?
They're so toey.
We already know that walking is for some reason very icky topic. But maybe the problem is that men should get rid of their feet? Nature gave us 10 toes so we could balance normally. But as we've seen before, not all guys can make a salto on the waterboard. So why do we need all of those toes? Take off 2 or 3 of them and maybe you'll start walking normally. Plenty of those icks are connected somehow to an everyday life. Like eating, walking, and of course sleeping has some rules too. Don't put sheets on your bed. Teach yourself to sleep standing. Or buy a new mattress every time you would put a new sheets on your bed. This is why in the US there are so many mattress stores. But never use a map to search for this store, because it's an ick number 23. It's better to be lost in the trees than being called a guy with a map. No, I think that ick was don't have a plan. Dutch van der Lind very messed up with this one. After all of these videos I started to develop an ick for all of these people who do videos about icks. I'm so sorry for all men who feel like they can't walk, swim and basically have a normal life. I hope the fact that 80% of the comments are against these icks makes you feel at least a bit better. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I am a small creator and it is really important for me. Bye!